Hello, everyone. This is Natalia Gilascu from Horain America. Today we decided to have a little bit of more, let's say, discussions about the coronavirus pandemic because it's been affected more and more people now. In US, the cases increase daily, but not only in US, all over the places. And we decided to have a little bit of more interaction with community leaders, with experts in the field to give us insights about the crisis or the, let's say, the effects this problem is gonna have on American citizens, immigrants, and people that are in this area for a long time. We chose a topic about real estate because more and more people are coming up with questions about whether to buy or not properties at this point of time. We know that US has been going through different crises. One of them was economic in 2008. We would like to introduce you to lovely people in the field. It's about Daniela Duta. You may have heard of her. She's been in the field for about 20 years as a broker. And we also have Walter Krajewski, a loan officer from Regions Mortgage. First of all, Daniela, I would like to ask you about how do you feel the pandemic coronavirus is going to affect buyers and sellers at this moment, and what have you noticed so far, let's say since a month, or let's say since 2 weeks, because the situation is changing on a daily basis?
At this moment, we are all worried about what's going to be. That's the truth. But in the same time, we are trying to find as much information as possible to learn from the reaction that this pandemic crisis produced in the financial and real estate market. But at this moment, the transactions are carried out on time. And in the same way, the real estate agents fall into the essential business category. So we can carry out our activity, but of course with caution. Very important in this entire picture, it's the client. So we try to come up, which is very hard, with as much information and solution for the client's needs. So we are all studying, like we are in school. We are doing researches. And
I've read that in many cities, the open houses have been limited in one way or another because now people are more or less isolated in their homes. But I've also heard that open houses are done in a different way now. Realtors try to take some measurements about using IT technologies, or how is the situation?
We are so lucky that we have this technology. Me personally, I don't think that I will do any open houses in the next 2-3 weeks, at least. But what I can do, I don't know if you can hear me. My phone is ringing like crazy. I don't know, do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, we have the technology, and I'm thinking, to do some virtual tours of the house, some live video from the house, so it's going to be just me there. My sellers, some of them, they are not so comfortable to welcome people in their house right now. So,
So they are scared to receive visitors at this moment?
Some of them, yes, that's the truth. They are not so comfortable. Some of them, they are allowing me to do showings, but I'm there. I promise that I will be there, which the listing agent usually is not there at the showing. But I'll be the one opening the door and sanitizing everything after the buyer's agent and the client, the buyer leaves.
I've seen a lot of services, organizations that offer, let's say, used pans with sanitized pans now, and a lot of, let's say, sanitizers available at the place.
I will have an appraisal. Will come on Thursday. We will have it at one of the properties which went under contract in 2 days last week. So, I just leased the property and went under contract right away. And the appraiser called me and he told me that he wants all the door to be open. He doesn't want to touch anything, all the switchers and everything. So he needs to have access to everything. He will not gonna touch anything. So, it's a little bit different. It's not necessarily scary, we just have to work together and find a way, to do things. Title companies, they are offering sanitizer in place. So, everybody is taking, caution. Step by step, they are trying to assure people that everything will be safe.
I don't know if there are more, let's say, houses on the market or not. What would you suggest, let's say, your clients and all people that try to invest now, or buyers that want to, invest in a property because maybe the rentals could be high, or so what would you recommend your clients to do at this point of time?
I have clients which they think that now is the best time to find a super deal. Like I told you last week, I had 2 contracts, super happy clients, which they managed to get a very, very good interest rate, They are also, I have clients which they saw the fluctuation after that of the interest rate, and, they are waiting. They are just waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm receiving messages daily, calls from clients, which they are asking me even about refinancing, And of course, they are asking me to tell them if it's a good time to invest in a real estate.
And many now are losing, let's say, a lot of jobs. We've seen some of the statistics saying like 300,000 people already lost their jobs and trying to wait or apply for unemployment. And I believe this is going to affect their, let's say, credit score. They will not have enough funds to even pay credits or so Walter, what is your input on this? How do you see the situation going on? Is it changing on a daily basis? How are the rates fluctuating? And what are your suggestions for such clients?
We've been through different crises, but this is unlike an economic and a crisis of liquidity, which pretty much was the situation in 2008. This is a crisis of disease, one that's spreading very rapidly, one that is deadly. It has various death rates through different countries, but when it's all said and done, it's obviously something that needs to be taken seriously. From an investment standpoint and from a lender standpoint, what we're most concerned about is long-term unemployment. You're right, a lot of people are losing their jobs right now. But the question is, what's going to happen when we finally, and we will, when we finally get rid of this disease? And how long is that going to take? Is it going to take 45 days? Or is it going to take what some experts are saying 9 months or a year? If it's 90 days, it's very likely that the economy will take a very sharp but quick hit and hopefully start a recovery right away. If it's a longer term, we're obviously that's really going to be unprecedented to have that long of a
so
disease.
it all depends now how quick the virus will be, let's say, diminished, and the effects can play, let's say, not that drastic results on the economics in general.
I think it's good news that, it's bad news short term that we have to lock everything down, but it's good news long term to get this done. Now, the other side of the equation is with interest rates, because the economy is projected to slow quite rapidly. Interest rates generally come down during that time, and we have seen them challenge the lows of back in 2008. So I have been refinancing a lot of people. A lot of people are saying, now is now a good time to refinance. But there's also a lot of volatility in interest rates right now. If you take a look at the stock market, it goes up and down 1,000 points every day. I think actually today it's up almost 2,000 points. So we're seeing the same sort of thing in the bond market. And that's where interest rates are derived from, the mortgage bond market. So, we did see them go up rapidly last week. So we were in the low threes on a 30-year fixed mortgage the week before. Last week, they went all the way up to almost 4.5%. And now today, they're back down to around the low threes again, around 3.25%. So we're seeing a lot of volatility, and it's really more important than ever, if you're an investor, if you're looking to do something, that you talk to people that not only understand the market, they've been through a lot of different things, but that they also understand the volatility that's happening right now, and how to navigate through it, and how to come up with a plan for you so that you can either take advantage or determine what's best for your situation.
Yeah, so like every crisis has its own, let's say, benefits and losses. Definitely, many experts say this is not a crisis that we had before in 2008, and Daniela was also pointing out about this. So, do you think that this crisis is going to affect as badly as in 2008, or it's not sure yet?
From a standpoint of house prices, I think right now it's hard to say. I would say at this point probably not, because, and Daniela, I'm going to throw it back over to you, but from what I understand, 1 out of every 4 houses has still been sold with cash. And whereas before you had a lot of buyers buying on stated income and a lot of these crazy programs, we haven't done that. We've verified everybody's employment. We've verified where the funds are coming from, to the point where they sometimes get mad at us about it. But but that's a good thing, because now hopefully people are on a much better footing finance-wise. But again, if there's long-term unemployment, then that throws a monkey wrench into everything. But Daniela, do you want to talk about that cash buyers and what you see in the market?
So very big uncertainty, the situation is not clear, but I think the market today is totally different than 2008. First of all, this is not an economic crisis. This is a pandemic, so it's totally different. In 2008, we had all the necessary data for a crisis. If I remember, I don't know, do you hear me? Because my phone keeps on ringing, so I cannot see anything.
Yeah, we can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. In 2008, we had all the necessary data to believe that there will be a crisis, a crash. Loans, if I remember well, were offered at high interest rates, even double compared to those days, Credit lines were offered on the basis of the increase of the value of the property, which sometime, I don't know, by me and other experts, they were increasing, the value of the property was growing, but, was nothing there to sustain that growth, So rents at that time were very, very low comparing with the rents today, you know. So with that being said, you know, most of the people, they didn't have any equity in their home, right? Because they took a lot of credit lines, you know, they went in vacation, they bought nice cars or whatever they did with those money. So when the crash came, you know, was like, what we gonna do? How we gonna pay? But today, so we were floating on the soap balloon, you know, at that time. This is my opinion, you know, I've been here in 2008, you know, I went to the crash, so yeah, even right now.
You survived.
You
and many others survived.
Yeah, for sure, you know, I'm sure that will be okay. Yeah, it's gonna be tough probably, God knows, I don't know, who knows. You know, but we're gonna find a solution, you know. I don't think that it's gonna be that bad like in 2008. But as Walter said, we don't know. Everything, it depends on how long this pandemic will take. It's gonna be a month, 3 months, or a year. We don't know, you know. Right now, I heard a lot of people, you know, some of my clients, they were like, well, prices, they are high right now, so they increased a lot in the last few years, so now it's a time for a crash, so the price, they're gonna go down a lot. Yep. They are expecting a big hit, you know?
So can it be a situation when, for example, prices of the houses can go down, and on the other hand, citizens not having enough money to buy that? That's also going to be let's say, a problem.
What I see, you know, the growth which we had was a healthy one, very sustainable, with low interest rates. The mortgage payment of the owners, it's lower than the rent right now. Their equity in the home are higher. So I don't think that they will be that vulnerable like they were in 2008. Because you see, when you have no equity in your house, right? And the interest rates, they are very, very high, right? And you lose your job. At that point, I think you are more like, okay, I'm gonna do something. Maybe, you know, I cannot handle anymore, you know. But those people today, I don't think that they're gonna have the same reaction because they put a lot of money. And yeah, the payments, I believe they are affordable. Plus, okay, if you cannot afford this mortgage, how are you gonna afford the rent if you go out to rent? Let's say you cannot afford the mortgage and you're gonna foreclose the property, you know, you're gonna lose the property to the bank, right? But you have to stay to live somewhere. Where are you gonna go? You're gonna go out and pay more for a rent? So that's why I believe that the situation today, it's totally different than was in 2008. And I don't think that there will be, this is my opinion, don't, you know, I mean, I'm not, you know, a very good expert in this. I have like 11 years of experience, but like I said, I can have 50 years of experience. This is a unique situation.
Yeah, nobody knows what is going to be tomorrow or in 1 week time, and
yeah,
kind of volatile.
I think it's important too. I'm sorry, Daniela. But I think it's important too to let everyone know that we work in the Illinois market and near Chicago. So the growth that we've seen in home prices here has not been some of the crazy prices that you see in places like California, San Francisco especially, Seattle, Washington, New York, Miami. Those places where it was an extremely hot market. My understanding is that actually a few months ago, they actually did start to see some slowdown in their markets. You know, so it's not going to be the same in every market. But I think Danielle is correct. In Illinois, we've had a slow but steady growth, and that's better overall for continued economic growth. Now, again, just getting back, I don't want to paint that everything's great, because, you know, we don't know. There is going to be significant job loss, and we don't know how long it's going to last. And that certainly is, or could put a damper on home prices. Danielle, what are you seeing in terms of inventory, though? Is inventory still very low?
There are some areas where it's very, very low, you know, where you cannot find listings, you know, you cannot find properties. I have areas where, you know, I have a client which is looking for more than 4 months to find something, you know, is very, very low inventory and very, very high demand. So that's why I think that in those area prices, they cannot go down. Because even last week, we had a multiple offer situation in one listing, you know, in those area, like I told you, where the inventory is very low, the supply is low, and we see very, very big demand. Yes, this is a pandemic crisis, you know, is different, but I believe that we are strong enough, you know, to handle it. And I don't see that. It's very hard to talk, you know. Me personally, I don't see a dramatic drop on the prices, you know.
It all depends also how the Congress will come up with different bills to support small businesses, investors, and so on.
Here we have to be very, very careful where we are talking about government, because I don't know if until this time, you know, they vote anything. They suppose, you know, to approve some money for, you know, to help people with this situation. But even with the banks, I heard that, you know, and Walter can tell us more, that some of the banks, they will postpone or they will suspend the payments. Here, I think it's case by case. Doesn't matter if you heard this on the news. This doesn't mean that you're gonna stop the payment and your payment, they will forgive your payment or stuff like that. You have to call your bank and talk with them and see what the solutions they have for you and in which condition. Because I remember very well in 2008 crash, when I called my bank because I had a financial hardship, you know, at that time. And I was looking to see, I mean, I didn't stop the payment, but, you know, I was trying to play around with some numbers to see what will be the solution. So I called them and I asked them, okay, you know, my husband doesn't have that much work, so his income, you know, it's getting low and low. So we do have some money in the account, but, you know, I want to see if you guys have any possibility to help us, because I heard that there are a lot of programs for the homeowners. And you know what they told me? Yes, we do have, but you have to show us and to prove us your hardship. I said, what do you mean? How do you want me to prove? You know, I can show you, you know, my bank statements to see that I'm not getting the same income like before. And they were like, no, you have to not necessarily to stop the payments, but you have to be delinquent 3 months. And after that, we will tell you the solutions which we have for you case by case. You know, we cannot tell you right now anything. So what that means, if it's going to be, you know, with this condition, you know, if they'll tell you, okay, you first stop the payment and after that I will let you know, what program we have for you, then you have to think that, you know, probably this is gonna affect your credit score.
How is the situation going to affect the credit score of, let's say, people that want to buy? For example, their credit score was 750, and because of the losing jobs and not being able to pay on time, the credit score decreased up till, let's say, 650, and our loan officer is going to go on with the same criteria to offer loans, or how is it gonna happen, let's say, in the nearest future?
The federal government has asked servicers that's who you make your payments to. So you might have started your mortgage, you know, when your loan officer, you decide to buy a house, you use a loan officer, and then that company that you were set up with, they sold your mortgage to a new company. So now you're paying a new company. That's the company you want to talk to, whoever you're making your payments to. And what the government has asked is that they provide relief to homeowners in either the way of maybe interest only, or maybe deferred payments, or maybe skip a payment, whatever. The federal government has not said you do not have to make your payment. So number one, keep making your payments if you at all can. The other thing you should do is, if you are having a hardship, call your servicer, and it's going to be up to the individual servicer as to what kind of help you get. And Daniela's right, they may have different stipulations, they may have different conditions as to when you can get help. The other thing that the federal government has asked them to do is, if they do offer a program, to not report it to the borrower's credit report as if they're late. One of the lessons we learned from 2008 was that, like Daniela said, you know, bank, you would call the bank and they would say, well, we have to show you're not delinquent. How are you in hardship? So then people would go delinquent, their credit scores would plummet. And then after the crisis was over, the early stages of recovery, they had a really hard time accessing credit because their credit scores were impacted. We want to make sure that doesn't happen again. So the federal government has asked the servicers not to report people late if they use these programs. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't. It means that the federal government has asked them not to. So you're really going to, again, have to talk to your servicer. You're going to have to find out exactly what programs they have, under what conditions. Are they going to show it as a credit delinquency? All of those different things. But yes, it certainly can affect the economy going forward. It can affect not only your ability to even secure a home, but if you can secure a home, it could affect the interest rate that you get, because lower credit scores are going to carry a much higher interest rate. That's one thing I still think people don't realize, is that when they hear, oh, my friend got this interest rate, their friend may have a very different circumstance than you did. They may be using a different program. They may have more or less money down. They may have a higher credit score, lower credit score.
What are the, let's say, positive things of this situation in US? Are there anything that we have to be optimistic about? We have to, let's say, work on our savings, use this time somehow differently than before, continue doing and changing to online services more often, or how do you see the, let's say, the nearest future in a positive terms?
We've seen many companies, and I'll just give a shout out to a couple. Best Buy, I know the electronics store. They said that even if for their employees that have reduced their hours, they're still going to pay them their full 40 hours a week. I know Walmart has done the same thing. I think Walmart's actually also given bonus checks, little things like that. But it's good to see some companies stepping up even a little bit. We've also seen other companies respond to the president's asking of making more ventilators, more hospital equipment, masks. I think I heard that GM was going to start making ventilators, and a bunch of other companies. 3M was making 1 million a week, I think I heard. So there's a lot of good positive things. And as a community and a country, hopefully it brings us stronger together.
Hope so too.
And then finally, some of my customers have been able to take advantage of interest rates, and it does save them a lot of money. So when we do come through this, hopefully they will be in a much better place, save early for retirement, be able to retire early or without as much fear. And hopefully we can, more Americans will be able to do that.
Daniela, what is your optimism in the challenges that you are facing?
I have a lot, I get a lot, I'm so happy that, we got a cleaner planet right now. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's breathing, when and how we could have reduced that pollution. some of us, we were so busy working and running all around. And our kids, they grew and we didn't see them that much growing. So, you know, we didn't see
time for
our
family
parents.
now, for being united. And
Yeah, so you see, we had money, right? Because we had jobs, you know, but we didn't have time to spend those money. We didn't have time to go to see our parents, like in my situation, you know, and probably yours overseas, because we've been so busy with so many things, you know. We forgot how to cook, we forgot how to clean, you know. Right now it's time to learn again and to do this together as a family, with kids, with everyone. And
do you have a feeling that the community has come together, maybe calling one another, asking for health issue, how are you? And
that I was about to talk about right now, you know, like a few days ago, I posted on social media because, you know, our business, it's like essential business. So I can travel, I can drive everywhere. So I've been thinking about those moms, you know, which they are alone with their kids, you know, and most of them in our community, the husbands, they are truck drivers, right? And I've been thinking that sometimes they don't feel that comfortable, you know, to go out, to put the kids in the car and to expose the kids in the store. Or for elderly people, you know, which the same, it's very hard for them to go and they don't want to be exposed. So I said, if is there anyone who needs help, you know, maybe you need to buy milk and you cannot go out, maybe you need a prescription, maybe you need something, you know, let me know, I will go, I will buy it for you and I will drop it by your door. You know, so this post was on some groups. I receive, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 text messages, you know, from people which they were like, okay, let me know because I'm going to help too. You know, if you hear about any situation, I'll be there with you. The same, I don't know if you saw the post on Facebook, but the same, a lot of comments on the post from people, you know, which they were willing to help, you know, which this is great. Same thing at the church on Sunday. I spoke at the meeting, you know, regarding, you know, our community, how we can help each other. And, you know, same thing, there it's a lot of help. There it's a lot of people which they are willing to help each other, which, you know, it's amazing and it's giving you a very good and positive feeling, you know, like you are not by yourself here, you know. So
people feel some kind of more solidarity and trying to keep you at least more united than before. A little bit of more friendship to one another, considering the situation now. More people will probably value what they have and go on with.
There is the time, yeah, to reflect and to think about what you had a week ago or a month ago, and how unhappy some of us, you know, maybe sometime I was there, you know, I was unhappy. I don't know about what, you know. I had a moment, you know, I am a human being, you know. So we are like this, you know. And right now, looking back, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, how good time was, you know, like a month ago. I should have enjoyed more and stuff like that. But yeah, another post was about, you know, I found a video how you can make a mask for the nurses and doctors in the hospital. And because I heard that they don't have too many, you know. So I went back to
it's a big problem now with the masks and protection.
Yeah. I went back to the community and I thought that maybe those moms, which they stay home, maybe they have a little time, you know, so they can watch this video and they can start helping with some masks. You know, so I received a text message from Cristina Balan, you know, she started on doing them, Nicoleta Dumbrăveanu, you know, the same thing. And I saw, of course, a lot of women.
Yeah, this is very inspiring for all the community to step up and do something about it.
You don't want to see my table. I even have the materials and everything and the sewing machine and everything, you know, ready to work here, you know. I don't know, maybe I will do 10, maybe I'll do 20. I don't know how many. I never did this in my life, but, you know, I don't think that it's that hard, you know.
There is hope that things are going to change, and whoever is watching this video, we encourage everyone to stay safe, be thankful to what you have. If you have an advice to give, please call us and tell us more what topics would be of your interest, and we're here to spread out your advices and be united. Thank you for joining us. It was Walter and Daniela, who are in this business for quite a while, and would be happy to hear back from you about reactions of whether you are still thinking to buy or sell a house. They are the good experts to contact and to reach these days. And please write to us whatever questions you have, whatever topics you feel comfortable talking about, and we'll be here for you. Thank you so much for joining us, and wish you good luck and be safe.